Introducing first in the corner to my right, from Southwick, Massachusetts, Hot Scoop, Skylar! Her opponent in the corner to my left, from St. Paul, Minnesota, the one-woman Minnesota Wrecking Crew, Rachael Ellering!
And if I have one criticism of Skylar during her time, whether it be in Beyond or WWR, you mentioned it, the smile on her face. Sometimes it doesn't go away quick enough. Sometimes she has to get down and dirty and to the nitty-gritty way faster.
Impressive. Bell sounds. Semi-main event. Rough day at the office. She's getting word that Jillian Lee's going to need medical attention for a cut on her elbow.
I thought you were going to say her shoulder.
Nevertheless,
she should probably get that checked too.
I mean, no matter how you slice it, Skylar's going to be giving up a lot of categories here. She's not as strong. She's not as experienced. She does not have the acumen. I mean, Rachael Ellering, professional wrestling, is in her blood. But it is that tenacity. It's that never say die attitude.
Of course, the daughter of precious Paul Ellering, manager of many, many champions over the years. And I'm sure that advice has been passed down.
I mean, that alone would give you the advantage, but then she trained with Lance Storm.
Right.
Probably the best school in all of North America.
Without question.
I'd give the nod of the United States to Brian Fury's school, New England Pro Wrestling Academy.
I agree with that.
We've seen competitors like Flip Gordon, Josh Briggs, Donovan Dijak, Oni Lorcan, of course, Sasha Banks come out of Brian Fury's New England Pro Wrestling Academy. And as a result of that, I think that the competition, even on a local level in New England, is just the best in the country. And that's what Skylar's had to endure. You know, Skylar's from Connecticut. She faces a lot of opponents from New England. And, you know, it's learning on the job.
And she's at a disadvantage from not having trained at that school, having different training, having to go a different path into professional wrestling, but she's adjusted very well so far. But like I mentioned before, that record has to be weighing on her mind, despite the fact that she comes out glowing.
Get some on-the-job training right now. She's controlling the wrist. She's trying to control the body, but just you see the strength and the technique. Rachael Ellering breaking up that wrist lock using her head.
Ellering, 25 years old, debuted for WWR March 2017 at Identity Crisis in a win over Sue Young. But she's on a two-match losing streak actually here, dropping back-to-back matches against Taylor Hendricks last May and Jordan Grace last October.
Taylor Hendrick kicked her right in the teeth. I mean, there was blood everywhere. This is a match that you can watch for free at your own discretion at youtube.com/WWR Pro Wrestling. Of course, if you're following the stream along today on Powerbomb TV, hashtag StreamWWR, as we know that Kimberly is watching closely as we anticipate her return to WWR. And I'd love to see her mix it up with either Rachael Ellering or Skylar. I think that there's an entire set of fresh opponents for Kimberly when she makes her return in the coming months. We do know that Kimberly is going to be in action representing Women's Wrestling Revolution. Her first date back on the independent circuit. Her opponent yet to be announced at Beyond Wrestling versus WWR lit up on April 5th at 11:55 p.m. in New Orleans. That's going to be an event that's going to be broadcasting exclusively at WWN Live, and will be featured on Powerbomb TV in the following days.
And a fantastic display of chain wrestling and endurance there as both women held their own.
You got to think a competitor like Skylar, if she wasn't 0-6, she'd be a shoo-in to represent WWR down in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
But popularity is not the end-all, be-all. You got to get the wins, too.
Very, very impressive display of power there by Rachael Ellering. And you mentioned the powerlifting background And if there's one thing Skylar has to try to exploit here, is the endurance factor. Powerlifting isn't going to give you a lot of cardiovascular conditioning. It can give you some if you're doing high reps, but mainly you're trying to lift for power and strength. And if Skylar, looking in the condition that she does tonight, can go a little further, maybe she can find the opening she needs.
But this could have been her opening to capitalize right here, and instead we're back to a stalemate. Both competitors back up to their feet on opposite sides of the ring. I wonder if Skylar's been intimidated.
Maybe, maybe not. She's been in there with the likes of Jordan Grace, who might be the most intimidating competitor WWR has on the roster, so.
And Jordan Grace, you know that loss to Tennille Dashwood not sitting well with her. She's going to be stewing in the back right now. Especially since her pug compatriot Lufisto victorious over Shotzi Blackheart earlier tonight. Skylar, though, able to sidestep Rachael Ellering and takes her down with an arm drag. Ellering's back up, now taking over the Japanese arm drag. This is what Skylar needs to do. She needs to string together that offense. A very unusual arm drag, but effective nevertheless.
More like a body scissors arm drag hybrid there.
Can't say I've seen that too often. If you've never seen it before, no matter who your dad is, who you train with, how are you going to scout for it?
If it gets the job done, it gets the job done.
Oh, not a clean break from Rachael Ellering. Completely changing the complexion of this matchup. And her face is kind of like, can you blame me at this point?
And this is where Skylar needs to dig down and get rid of that cheery personality. It's at this point where Rachael Ellering just slapped her in the mouth and said, what do you got?
Oh, she took advantage of her. Skylar, you know, being a novice is still almost a bit gullible, I think.
And we're going to find out how quickly she can adapt to that as she's reeling right now in the corner.
Very effective strikes with the shoulder. The powerful legs of Rachael Ellering powering her into the solar plexus of Skylar, able to wrestle her away from the ropes. Couldn't keep her down though. Ellering keeping a close eye on Skylar. Skylar's got her back turned to her opponent. Oh man, and Ellering sizing her up just to connect with a shot to the rib. That could dislodge a rib. That could send you to the hospital.
That's one way to keep your opponent down.
And a broken rib, they ain't gonna do anything about it. So you're gonna be missing a lot of time. You don't know how fast it's gonna heal.
See, there's that anger and that aggression that Skylar needs. Granted, she only got 2 punches off before Ellering was able to neutralize her, but if she can keep that going, I think she can find an opening and get back in this.
Ellering, though, is she getting a little bit too cocky, trying to toy with Skylar right now? Or is she waiting for Skylar to make another mistake? Skylar trying to defend herself with kicks from a prone position. Ellering just grabbing away at the leg and just kicking her in the ankle. Oh! Yeah, there we go. Just to maneuver her way to the back so she could do some real damage. Up and down with a big body slam. And a senton. Great combination. Again, targeting the midsection. I think Ellering's strategy is starting to come to light here. Really focusing on the abdomen, trying to catch Skylar under the ribs. You see Skylar really favoring her midsection right now. Hear her breathing heavy. If she's got her mouth open, she's trying to take in big breaths and she's struggling. Oh, and when you have to try and defend your body, you leave your head prone to get kicked like that.
And this is a big reason why experience is so important. Rachael Ellering knows exactly where she has Skylar. She's not panicking. She's not getting worried by these punches. She's letting them happen and even accepting them before she drops her back down where she wants her.
Take it, 3 shots to give 2 of her own. Skylar might be out. Close to the ropes. Skylar barely able to kick out.
And at what point is Rachael Ellering just toying with her? We're getting to that point where it almost seems like she's just having fun.
It's similar to what we saw with Barbie Hayden and Penelope Ford, and we know that Barbie Hayden made the mistake and Penelope Ford capitalized.
That was a home run swing.
But if you're Rachael Ellering and you're coming off 2 consecutive losses, you want a full-time spot back here in WR. You're sending a statement not only to your opponent, not only to the wrestling locker room, but everybody watching here live at Electric Case and everybody watching on Powerbomb TV. Oh, big power slam. Now a folding press.
And that wasn't a weak kick out. Skylar really kicked out with some emphasis there. So yes, she's writhing in pain. Yes, her back, her stomach, everywhere is probably in agony, but she's still fighting.
Sizing her up for another shot to the side of the head. Skylar knowing that she's at the ropes at this point.
Because my question right before that was, at what point does Stephen Dumang step in? But with a kick out like that, there's still plenty of fight left.
Ellering's taking her time. Just eating all these blows. Skylar caught her good there, though. Ellering just smothering Skylar, though.
And again, a display of aggression from Skylar. I really like to see it. Ducked out of the way. A lariat, and she's right back in it.
Well, maybe catching her second win, maybe trying to feed off the energy here at Electric Haze. And both women are down.
And again, the inexperience of Skylar at play. She had an opening, and instead of pouncing on it, she went back to the crowd, like she always does, and it didn't pay.
Well, right now, who's the crowd chanting for? They're not chanting for Skylar, they're not chanting for Rachael Ellering. They're chanting for a good fight. That doesn't favor either competitor right now. And if that was your second win, it got extinguished that quickly. What are the odds that you got a third win in you?
Well, right now we're going to see if Rachael has a second win, because she's down.
Well, it takes a lot of energy to punish your opponent, don't get me wrong. Misses with the back elbow, sent off the ropes. Skylar connects with one of her own. Oh, look at that combination with a kick to the side of the head. Ellering never saw that one coming. The hip toss into the knee. Ellering's on spaghetti legs and driven skull first in the mat with a DDT.
That could be it. This is gut check time for Skylar, I think, because right now, yes, she has the advantage, but it's how quickly and how strongly she can capitalize on it, because she hasn't been able to do it in the past.
Well, like you said, Skylar's 0-6. What is she even going to be looking for to finish things off? Your guess is as good as mine.
She beat Grace with a flash pin.
Oh, hard STO. And with the twisting leg drop. Skylar, he's trying to get out of harm's way to no avail. Still able to kick out.
And Skylar back to square one. It's just this, it's like Groundhog's Day for her over and over here. Not only in this match, but in WWR period.
I mean, so much potential, but at some point you have to realize the potential before even the fans throw in the towel on you. Ellering might be looking for a pile driver. A jumping kick from Skylar. Second one finds the mark, now trying to elevate herself to the second rope. And rides her down with Meteora.
Oh, I thought that was it. I thought that was it.
I think the fans here at Electric Haze did too. I think Skylar did too.
Oh, wow. She doesn't want a pin, she wants a submission.
She's got that bridging chancery applied.
Just when I said she needs to get more aggressive, she pulls out that.
Well, you want to talk shades of Taylor Hendricks and Rachael Ellering. That was the maneuver that Taylor Hendricks had Rachael Ellering as blood was pouring out of her face like a faucet. Ellering really trying to get to the ropes.
Wrenching it in even more. Wow.
You know, not only having to carry your own weight, but your opponent basically on your back. That's the impressive strength out of Rachael Ellering. She came here to put up a fight today.
Absolutely, and now look at Skylar. She's questioning everything.
Yeah, she's beside herself. It looks like she's completely off her game. Trying to psych herself back up. Oh, no. She's done. Thanks for coming, Skylar.
Like walking into a baseball bat.
Skylar trying to retreat to the floor. Rachael Ellering telling her to get back in the ring. Oh, instead got pump kicked once again.
Oh, boy. If she hits the floor.
Oh, caught her again. Still holding on for dear life. And the pop up into the spine buster.
That's it.
1, 2. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh!
Another flash pin.
Here is your winner, Hot Scoop, Skylar!
must be furious. She had it in her hands the entire time, and once more, the underdog pulls out a huge win. I don't care how you beat Rachael Ellering. If you beat her, you're on the ascent.
Well, you can't say that Rachael Ellering was hot dogging around. She had him for the pop-up spine buster. And Skylar, I mean, you don't want to say she got lucky, but her first ever victory here in WWR, and very classy show of respect out of Rachael Ellering.